Hello YouTube. Wiring up the Batrium Power Center today. I'm going to show you how to do that. Inside the power center, we have 0 through 16. 0 is going to be ground. This is going to be your first cell positive all the way down. We're only going to use 1 through 8. Here will be your power source where it plugs in. And you can't have more than 30 volts go to this here. Here's a temperature sensor that you need to plug in. And you need to route all your temperature sensors for your batteries. Here's where your shunt plugs into. And here is where the connector cable goes from the watch mount core to the Cellmate 9. I use ring terminals to bolt down the balance leads for my BMS here. And I've learned over time that these serrated nuts will turn around and actually dig into the ring terminal here. So what I do is before bolting down, I stick a washer over the ring terminal here and I turn around, then bolt down to the battery itself here. I don't like destroying the ring terminal. I've learned that sometimes it can mess up the connection. This is where you're going to want to hook 0, which is your ground, which is your first cell negative here. And then you're going to want to go with your cell lead here, which will be 1, 2, 3. And we're going to continue because underneath my battery pack here, there's more numbers, but we're going to continue to 6, 7, and then down to 8 cell positive here. The fuses that I bought that came with the Batrium system are just garbage. Right here, it took me a while to figure it out, but I wired them all up and I had 4 out of 8 that weren't even connected here. I had to take a voltmeter and I had to test the ohmage across it, and I figured out there was a bad connection. I use some 5 amp fuses here, pretty sturdy here. And you can tuck them behind the pack here. Make sure that you use fuses for every cell here. I fuse everything, and the reason is you need to, just in case there's some kind of short circuit or something. But go from, cell 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 8 or 16, and make sure that you fuse every one. Make sure you test balance lead voltages before plugging everything in. I just have it resting. I don't have it all the way plugged in just for the video. But you're going to want to go down through 1 through 8 here to check the voltages of the pack to make sure everything's in line and in the correct order. Like so. Time to plug everything in here now, since everything's wired. Plug your balance leads in. Make sure you plug all your temperature sensors in. I plugged them in to each one of the batteries. I plugged them in between 1 and 8, 4 different temperature sensors. And then you're going to also want to plug your voltage in here. This is power supply, and make sure you don't have more than 30 volts. You can ruin a system. So if you have a 48 volt system, you're going to need a regulator here. And you're going to want to make sure you plug your shunts in. As you see, the power light came on. I'm going to need to upgrade the firmware, and we're going to need to get the laptop out. Thanks for watching how to wire the Batrium BMS. In my next video, I'm going to hook it to the computer, and we're going to see how all the cells are working and where the cell voltages are at and how this Batrium BMS does. If you like my videos, like and subscribe.